All right, guys, as you can see here, we have our camera equipment set up to take pictures of our hatchlings for the first time. So these are going to be the babies that have already had their first shed and first meal. I take all their nicer photos right away, just to get them out of the way so I have them for my records, and then I do the ones that I post for Instagram and online as well. But before that, and the lighting's gonna kind of sort of stink, but this is the first lightning pied that actually crawled out of the eggs. All of the 4 pied head MJs crawled out, and I believe they were 1 male and 2 females. And this is a male here, and Orange Dream just really, really looks cool in the lightning pieds. As you can see, like this saddle back here almost looks like it's white, and that's what Orange Dream kind of does in this combo, just kind of lightens it up a bit. These guys start to turn really pink almost right away once they are out of the egg, right before they have their first shed. So he's not even really white at this point. But so this is a male, probably a male I would keep if he ends up being a het clown. So hopefully he is, at least for me, so I can keep him. But really cool looking snake. I'm still having a hard time IDing Blade in these, but he's definitely OD. And I noticed this a few years ago when I was hatching out my lightning pieds. Can you see how this saddle here just sort of goes from like black where my pinky is back to whiter? I had a lot of that in some of my lightning pieds from 2 years back, where like the saddles are like multicolored. One half of it's dark, one half of it's light. So I'm curious to see. I don't know why the visual lightning pieds need to be taking so long to come out of their eggs, but they are. So I still have to wait for those other five to come out. But back to the matter at hand. So taking pictures. I have a photography background. I went to school for photography. I don't really practice it a whole lot anymore, other than for personal uses like birthdays for the kids, birthday pictures, and holiday picture photos and stuff like that. But I do have a nice camera here, and I do kind of take a little bit of pride to make sure that I'm getting pretty good composition on my stuff I use for Instagram, and nice hatchling photos when they first come out. I like to have a catalog of basically everything I've ever hatched. So I have a folder on my computer that has, a picture. I didn't start when I first started making snakes, but I feel like at least the last 2 years, which is when my highest production has come, of basically every single hatchling that I've had since then. So my basic setup for when I'm taking my initial hatchling photos is this gray faux leather. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was for like using it for like countertops, or using inside of drawers as a liner. I don't know what the actual purpose of it was. I bought on Amazon. I chose gray because I tested gray and white and black, and gray, obviously because it's in the middle of all 3 of those colors or tones, gives you the best exposure, like directly out of your camera. So if you're using an iPhone or an Android phone, it gives you the most consistent colors. Sometimes you do need to tweak a little bit to get everything to be accurate, but 9 times out of 10, the snake's colors show up properly in camera when you're using a gray background. And I also chose this because it doesn't have a whole lot of reflection. I don't like glossy surfaces to take the photos on because it can really, really show the light. I also use this ring light because it is very bright. It makes like a nice light ring effect in the snake's eye when you're taking the photo. And I will also shoot down through here. So I take photos of the babies from a couple of different angles. One angle would be top down, and then obviously a couple from either side. The light can be directly over top of the snake like this, and I can still get a picture top down that way. So in terms of equipment that I use, my phone is what I use to record most videos. I have a Pixel 8 Pro, and all my videos are shot with that. It just makes my life a lot easier. It also takes good photos. So what I'll do is I have a Canon EOS R6 here, and I have a 100 millimeter micro lens here. It's one of their RF lenses. Now, this is not something I'd probably recommend for really anybody out there because it's a higher end setup, and 99% of people don't need this. It has its purposes. I know how to use it. I have training on how to use it. I have experience using it. That's why I have this set up, but it's not necessary for most people. I think if you invest in just buying a nice phone and take care of it, that has a nice camera on it, I think a nice phone and a ring light and a nice background will get the job done for you. I've actually found that it's easier for me to shoot my videos on this phone than it is to either use this camera or use I have a GoPro, whatever the latest one is, a 9. I was shooting them that too. This phone actually makes all that easier. So obviously the picture quality out of this is a lot different than that, but the Pixel 8 Pro does what I need it to do. So for you guys, a ring light, a background, and a really nice phone with a nice camera will probably get the job done. So let's start. So typically when I do this, I will start with the first snake in a clutch and just work the way down so that they're all in order. There is the one snake that did not shed yet, so you know, I'm kind of out of luck there, but we'll deal with that later on. So usually I get the first one top down, get nice right in the center, good picture. I'll usually get maybe from the side here a little bit. Ooh, there we go. Always focus on the eye so that that's in focus. See, and I usually get it from the other angle so that I get all of the, at least most of the sides of the snake. So let's see if this will, hopefully this will show up here. And it's that easy. I mean, that's what I'm looking at the end of the day when I'm taking a picture. It's very simple. Let's see here. Oh, here, that's why it's doing it. That's a nice top-down photo just to show you the overall look of the snake. So that's all I do. So I usually take 3 pictures of each snake. That kind of gives you a nice overall feel for it. Like this one, now the nice thing about this camera is it zooms in. It's called a macro lens because it can get really close to the snake. So for instance, on this one, maybe she has really pretty eyes, if it'll focus. And so I'll get a close-up picture of the eye, because the eye is really cool. Now this is a snake that I'm keeping. This is like the one snake out of this clutch that I loved. So she's not going anywhere, but I like to have those pictures as well because I post them on the internet. I put them on my website, and you know, for the ones that I'm selling, you know, having nice photos on the Morph Market listing, I think is very important. I don't think people take enough time or effort to figure out how to take photos of their snakes, and they just, posing is a hard part. But yeah, people don't take enough time and effort to figure out how to take a nice photo. They use weird colored backgrounds. They don't have them in focus. Their colors are all off. I love Ozzy. I probably purchased more snakes from Ozzy than anybody else. His early photos, if you've seen them, absolutely sucked. The colors were so off that you couldn't even tell what the snakes looked like. So go back and look at Ozzy's listings from like years ago, and you could not even tell like what colors the snakes were because they were so off. His pictures are obviously a lot better now. But there's a lot of people that still kind of do that, even today when there's all these camera phones that are actually pretty decent. There's really no excuse for it. So posing them can be hard because, you know, little baby snakes like to move around a lot, even the adults. So I do the best I can with that, kind of keeping them still. And I try to be as fast as I can so that I probably want to do it from this angle so I get the side more. I just do the best I can with being quick, being fast. Now, this camera lens really has a short depth of field. And that means that, like, if I'm focusing right here on the snake, that this part of the snake's gonna be out of focus. And if I'm on this side where you're at, if I'm focusing here, this side of the snake's gonna be out of focus in the reverse. So that's why I like to use my oh, this snake shed too, so that's good. Now I can go in order. This is the male I was waiting for, and he just had his shed, so that's good. I'll show you guys this male. This is the one I'm hoping will prove out head MJ because he's really cool looking too. So let's get him in there. So I like to use my phone because it takes a photo easily that is just you know, in focus all the way through. It doesn't take a whole lot to get that. It does the colors pretty well. It just makes taking the pictures very easy. This is more like an artistic approach to taking pictures of a snake. So, but this guy's cool. I'm glad he finally shed. Hopefully he eats. The other ones already ate, had their first meals. Actually, pull his shed out of here because I want to save it, just in case MJ tests come out sometime soon. Because I can't hold these. I can't hold these snakes forever, especially with the lightning bite clutch finally hatching. But I can do this in a little bit. It shouldn't dry out. Let's get that water breath out in a little bit. Now I'm gonna have to go back through after this with all these snakes and get the photos with my phone too, but that should be easy. I only usually take one with my phone because it usually goes by pretty quick. Guys, hold on. When they hold on to coconut when they pull them out. And the phone photos are usually the easier ones, you know, to see the whole entire snake and the pattern, and they're usually the ones I post on the internet, on Instagram or anywhere like that. These photos are usually just for me and for posting it in the listing. I put it in the listing so that people just kind of have a, hey, this snake's really cool looking. That's a nice photo. Kind of another nice selling point. So these are the angles I usually go at. You know, left, right, center, top down, and it gets the job done. Nothing crazy. I could spend more time, you know, having like really fancy photos and getting really crazy angles and, you know, waiting for the right moment and all that sort of stuff. But I'm not looking to do that. Now, the other reason that I do this, the phone photos, or even these, it doesn't matter, I guess, either way, is so that I can more easily ID the snakes. I do, before I list anything or sell anything, I try to make sure that I'm doing my best, my due diligence to ID these snakes properly. So I'll get these nicer photos where I have more definition, better colors, things that are exposed properly, and that'll help me look at, you know, previous listings on Morph Market and you know, see what this snake most closely resembles. And this doesn't take very long. I mean, it's kind of a process. You know, I don't necessarily look forward to doing it, but it's not super hard. It's not like it takes up a bunch of time to do. As you can see, I'm kind of plugging through here. I'm already on snake number 6. Now, every once in a while you get a snake like this who's just not cooperative, and sometimes you don't get the best photos out of it, but if you kind of just keep kind of coax them a little bit, he'll unfurl, I guess is the best way to put it. Let's see. Let's work through these real quick, get them all done. This male's kind of cool looking. I've never really seen, I'm assuming he's a leopard blade. I don't think I've ever really seen one that wasn't like in a clown or some other combo. So I'm actually probably, if I have time today, a couple, these 2 ultra males that are coming up next, possibly this female and maybe that last, the male, the het male, I'll probably actually have them listed soon. Ooh, she's bitey. She's a feisty one. I'll probably have them listed soon. With, I think the ultra males are being listed with other females that I have. So, you know, you'll see these photos on the listing at that point in time. Let's see, this one focus on her tiny little head. There we go. She's not a whole lot to look at. She is angry. She is angry, huh? She's a feisty one. All these snakes ate on their first meal too, which was a good thing. Just trying to see if she strike on it. Yeah, of course. As soon as I'm done taking the picture. Relax. Relax. Alright, ultramels. These two ultramels, I was actually having a very hard time getting like the colors through my phone and on a white background. So these pictures are going to be important with you know, ID, because I was having a heck of a time trying to get the colors right so I could compare them. Oop, come here, buddy. Come here, back this way. Comparing the colors, because a lot of what you do with ultramel is kind of comparing the colors to other people's snakes to see the slight color shift, to see what it does. Sometimes it's a little more subtle than some other snakes. Morphs. Actually really pretty, these two males that I have. Got that one with his tongue sticking out. Sometimes you catch something like that, it's a neat photo. Like that'll probably be his profile photo because his tongue was sticking out during it. Typically, if I wasn't recording this, you know, I would put the camera down and then I would go through and do a shot with my phone as well, so it's all kind of in order. I'll just, after I stop the video, I'll go back through with my phone to get those shots I need. Come here, buddy. There you go. Focus on his face. On his face, please. On his face. Okay, hopefully that worked. Some of these newer cameras that have like the Face ID obviously doesn't work very well when you have a mixed up pattern here, but they won't listen to you either. I'm trying not to use manual focus because that could take too long, especially when you have a short depth of field. But all right, all the way. Okay, so hopefully that helped. It's simple. I mean, it's just try to with anything. You know, with breeding ball pythons or incubating ball pythons or trying to get a ball python to eat. This is the same thing. You have to practice it. So, you know, if you're listing snakes for sale, put in like a little bit more effort to try to get some nice pictures of it, because that does make a difference with that snake standing out in a listing versus somebody else's. You know, if you see somebody's snake on a weird background and the exposure is way off, and you're looking at it and you're like what? I'm trying to verify the morph or verify the colors, and the colors are way off, and it's sort of a smudgy photo, and you can't tell what the pattern's like. You just might not even inquire about that snake. You're like, whatever. There's one right next to it for the same price that has a good photo, and I can just buy it. So it can be a deterrent. So make sure you're getting good photos out of this. So hopefully that helps. I don't know if I've really ever covered this before a whole lot, so hopefully it does the job, and you guys should be seeing these pictures probably, if not already, within a day or so on Instagram and probably in their listings.